There's a portal in there.
You can see, yeah.
Yeah, take a look. It's on the wall.
Graffiti, yeah.
Yeah. We are now in front of this building. If you want to feel something, this is a very good spot. Understanding spiritual dynamics. Energy is very stale in Basketball. Good evening, everyone. I'm Eugene Tay, and welcome to a brand new season of Haunting History, where we explore the darkest side of Singapore's past. This season, we're going to touch on how the scars of our history have affected our present. Some of you might recognize me from Supernatural Confessions, but for those of you who don't, I'm an avid collector of stories and confessions about the supernatural. And I can't wait to share some of this with you tonight. I have a special guest with me here, and I'll let him introduce himself.
But first things first, this show horror show.
Yeah, bro, it says Haunting History.
Hi, my name is Kishan J, actor, host, social media personality, and I can't wait to join Eugene on this episode.
Now, what's your impression of Sentosa?
Universal Studios, the fun stuff, Tanjong Beach Club, those things are nice.
So nothing to do with haunting, ghost?
No, nothing.
You know how many forts are there in Sentosa?
Four forts, right?
Yes.
Four forts. Just rhymes better. I didn't even know there were 4 forts.
We're going to kick off this season with a special location that isn't always open to the public. We are going to one of the 4 forts on Sentosa Island, Fort Serapong. Built in 1870s and 1890s, this place holds a wealth of stories and has been a solid part of our history. But why is it so tucked away and hidden from view? I want you to be prepared because that place has been in ruins for a very long time.
That just all says to me in 2 words, don't go.
But have you seen ghosts? Because everyone says in Singapore, right? Hotel is haunted, schools are haunted, almost anywhere is haunted. Have you had any encounters?
I sleep on a foam mattress.
Okay.
Sleep paralysis. I'm cornered to one side, my eyes are wide open. Feel on the foam mattress is footsteps. All I hear is a loud scream on the left of my ear because I'm loud. She's screaming at me.
Yeah.
But I managed to turn away and say, "You get that out." Boom! The energy that I felt, gone.
The thing that you did, which I thought was brilliant, is to show anger. Like when we are confronted with spiritual attack, when you show anger, there's a bit of outburst of energy that pushes them away.
Oh.
All right, so hearing all the stuff that we talked about today, I'm more than convinced and very sure that you are the right person for Fort Serapong. So if anything happens to us later, you just shout the thing, okay?
Okay.
Right?
Oh, I shout at you. I just tell you, Eugene!
Okay, so are we ready to go?
Okay, I think we're ready.
Come. And now we're here at Fort Fullerton, outside of aircon into the wilderness. Today we have a special guest with us, Scott.
Hey gentlemen, how are you guys?
So
Good,
Scott,
buddy.
you've been doing tours here for the last 2 years.
Yep, that's right.
So just one question, right?
Sure.
Yes. What is your workout routine? Can you just let me know? I just,
All natural body.
Huh?
Have you heard of Fort Fullerton before?
This one's Sentosa. There's only a few things you need to hear of. Pella,
Okay.
W Hotel, Universal Studios. Why would we hear about Fort Serapong?
So just a bit of history before we start, okay? Fort Serapong is one of 4 forts that are in Singapore, or rather, one of the 4 forts that are in Sentosa. Most of you have heard of Fort Siloso, yes? Fort Siloso.
No, I'm a Tanjong Beach Club kind of guy.
There's 2 more other British military installation, and that is Imbiah Battery, and Fort Connaught. So Fort Connaught is now a golf course, Imbiah is a touristy spot, and of course Fort Siloso is another touristy spot. The fort still remains. But the 4th, Fort Serapong, bigger than Fort Siloso, remains empty throughout history till today. Well, Scott will tell us more about that because he's been here for 2 years, and I want to find out from the man if this place is truly as haunted as what people say it is.
I'm just going to do the audience a favor and ask all of us here, for what? Why are we here? Why? I know you're watching this going, these Singaporeans got nothing better to do. Why do we care about this?
Well, that's because, and here's where the entire premise of the show is, by knowing our history, we can then appreciate our present.
There's a reason why it's called history. It's in the past. Let it be.
So let's head into the spur battery to have a look, guys.
You walk behind. Yeah.
You just
So,
want to be behind Scott.
who
right?
is the daredevil here? Any one of you?
Oh,
Okay,
that
you go
devil
first.
then push me in front lah.
Yes.
You lead the way, man.
Okay. Coming back to this place again fills me with a lot of memories of the last time I was here. So I came here with a crew. We came up here and we walked in. There was an area where there's supposed to be a gun, but the gun has been removed. So it's
Yes.
a circular area. And my cameraman went in and he looked up and he saw a giant shadow creature moving from tree to tree. He yelped.
So we're going to be really careful here, especially what's on our right. As you can see, there's a barricade here. If we trip, we go all the way down 2 stories. So this used to be the staircase that brings the soldiers down to the ground level. If you guys come closer, you'll see there are quite a number of rooms or compartments over there. So these rooms are where the soldiers take their rest and also where they store their gun shells, their ammunition for the guns. And if you look right on top over there, just right where I'm pointing.
You say don't look outside.
Now with all the lights, I think we're good. This is the observation tower where soldiers are always in there 24/7 looking up to the southern part of Singapore.
Oh. So if I know my history correct, right? They were all stationed here, but then the Japanese came from the causeway, right?
You are right. Yeah? And also if you look...
Yeah, and also if you look,
Oh, what's that? Where this sudden gust
that,
of
right?
wind came from? That's weird, man.
Because I felt no wind. This sounds like something jumping from tree to tree. You heard that as well?
Today's
But
what,
there's no
Tuesday?
wind. Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Right?
Thursday will be a worse time to be here.
You will also observe this kind of compartments. So back in the past, there used to be doors covering these compartments. This is also where they store their gun shells and ammunition. But now, of course, the doors have disintegrated. Right over there at the end, you can see this big squarish void, right?
Yeah.
This is actually not a compartment.
The door.
If you go through there, you drop all the way down to the basement.
Huh?
It's like a void. Let's go to
nice. It's
somewhere more exciting, shall
Very
we?
nice. I love what they've done to the place.
We are standing right in front of the former British kitchen and dining hall. And right over there in the bush, covered in bush right now, overgrown, it used to be a former badminton court. If you guys want, we can actually head into the kitchen area and have a
Sure,
look to see what's inside.
Let's go take
Shall
a look.
we?
Yeah.
Let's go. This way.
Wait.
You want to stay in the middle?
No, yes.
There's a portal in there.
You can see
Yeah, take a look. It's on the wall.
graffiti.
Yeah.
Actually.
There's a bit of vortex here. I'm getting a bit of cold spot,
Really?
and the energy is just swirling around this spot. I don't think it's malicious. I think it's just a nature entity or spirit because
Oh.
it's just moving about when you guys coming here, just move out.
Hi, nice.
Oh, so it's gone.
Yeah. Just moving out there.
If we head to the right,
Yeah.
I believe there used to be some wash area
Okay.
where they prepare their food and huge space here because you have to cook for a lot of soldiers, right?
Yeah. Personally, I would stay here overnight being very comfortable.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
You don't get that foreboding sense of an entity trying to chase you out of the place. I wouldn't say it's welcoming, but it's not haunted in the traditional way.
Welcome to the chapel.
Chapel. Hey guys.
So the trek up here wasn't as easy as the previous one, but it's so rewarding. I mean, looking at this place around where the roots are coming down, we are literally standing under a tree.
Okay, I like that.
Right?
But you got some weird fetish with this whole place.
I love this place. And Scott, I've got a question for you.
Sure, go ahead.
Right? This is Sentosa. It's expensive prime land. Why would this place be left abandoned?
I believe that there are plans for this particular fort, like how they have refurbished Fort Siloso, for example.
Okay.
It's just a matter of time. And if they really want to like destroy this place completely, they wouldn't have set up barricades. They wouldn't have even created like a PUB over here and make such a nice road for vehicles to go up and down.
Well, I suppose the
Yeah.
other option could be they put up the barricades to prevent people from coming here because they know that this place is unclean.
Sure, but
But you
they would have just built like a massive gate just right at the entrance and have security guards, right? So I strongly believe that they still want to preserve this space to keep it as raw, as authentic as it is as compared to Fort Siloso.
But what do you mean by unclean?
We are in a chapel, right, Kishan? And you know, chapel's supposed to be
See
a place
again,
of
I'm gonna
worship.
stop you right there.
Yeah.
You know, right? You're both know. Every horror movie starts at a chapel, and then the cross turns upside down, and this is not in use anymore. So, explain to me, why are we here?
To prove to audience that this
It's a rat! This is how horror movies start, right? They scare you with the jump scare with an animal first, because after this, the ghost shows up. And this is my cue to get the out.
You know the thing about rats, right? You don't want to be alone out there because muscles are here. Okay, muscle is here.
Good correction there.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, Kishan.
Okay.
Kishan, this is your proof.
What kind of question is that?
It's a proof of manhood.
What kind of question? No! I don't need to prove myself to nobody. My manhood is big enough. Oh, you're not joking. What am I going to do with this? Swat the ghost when he comes, is it?
Can I give you an advice?
Yeah.
I think this will be where you want to stand
Why?
because I feel that within these two trunks, if there is any energy vortex, we believe in the banyan tree, that is where the home of the bunyans would be. That's where the fairies would.
So that's the place to avoid, lah.
That's the place you want to be to get a reaction.
No, you talk about banyan tree. I'd rather be in that hotel, banyan tree. What banyan tree I want to be? I'm not coming here.
Bye, Kishan.
No, cannot say full name. Bye, Kiki.
Bye. Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I need to talk, man. I cannot not talk and not feel scared as shit. I'm gonna show you around. Did you see anything? Okay, when I'm anxious and I'm scared, I talk a lot. It helps me get out of my head, because in my head I'm thinking one is going to come out from the left, one is going to come out from the right, and I keep talking, and they apparently like people who talk a lot, and then they're gonna come. Like, did you hear that? I swear something was walking here, okay? I felt it.
Okay, so we have descended Fort Serapong.
We did it, guys.
Half the crew looks dead.
Yeah.
You are whining about mosquito bites.
Yeah, we went to the highest point of Mount Sentosa actually.
91
which is
meters
Mount
high.
Serapong.
Hey, I think clap lah, you know, achievement unlocked.
Kishan, and finally,
I thought he was not going to thank me at all after what I've done for you, you know.
well, thank you so much, Scott. Now, Kishan and I, we're going to head back to the studio.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, man. I had a great time hosting you guys. Anyways, time for me to get some iron pumping. See you guys soon. Take care, man.
You're going to hit the gym at this time of the night.
Yeah, I gotta run, man. I got 30 minutes left before the gym closes. See you guys. Ciao.
Bye. Why you think no ghosts come?
Hey, I also got muscle, no. It's just sleeping only. Alah, go back studio lah.
Okay lah.
So, and now that we are back in the safety of our studio, can you tell us a little bit more about your experience just now?
As much as I left here confident, I went there, I was a nervous wreck there. Okay, if you didn't realize, I was standing very close to you, and when I'm nervous, my hands will never leave my body. I just need to touch myself. You know, like this keeps me comfort, and I just like, oh, shit.
There's one part at the very start of the video where you walk towards the area where you say, come, let's see my guns. And you heard it as well.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
Because it's not wind blowing, that's something jumping.
Monkey. I've concluded it's monkey.
Sure, we can go with that.
Yeah.
But then later on when we went to the chapel, but you were there on your own. Right? And we all left, the whole crew left. We got you to just isolate yourself.
I don't know how you guys got me to do that, but I did it.
But I could hear you talking and talking.
Yeah,
non-stop.
because it's a nervous response. I feel like now everything's focused on me because I'm alone. So I just felt like I was unsafe. I just felt like, ugh. And then I felt with the rats, and it was disgusting. Like it's this disgusting.
Which was worse, the rats or the potential of seeing a ghost?
The rats lah. See the ghost, maybe I faint and then I wake up in the morning. The rats bite me, with some disease or what.
So tonight, as I send you back away from today's production, I got to give you some advice that my grandma taught me. When you go to all these places that is unclean or abandoned, when you go home, your clothes, put it all in the wash. Don't put it in the bin in your room. Don't walk around the place, because the old folks believe that the spirits can follow you. Ideally, what you want to do is go hang out at some 24-hour coffee shop, or my favorite, going to 7-Eleven, just to throw the scent off before I go home.
Own 7-Eleven, so the ghost can stay there for 24 hours.
That's why lah.
And shop.
Poor thing, all these 7-Eleven people. We all go there and show the ghost. So tonight, which is the most memorable spot for you? And which is the worst?
It's the chapel.
Okay.
I liked it and I didn't like it. I liked it because it was a new, uncomfortable experience. I never thought I would walk into a place like that. You're like, leave me there. What's so fun about that?
So at the start, I asked you what's your thought about Sentosa. You told me all the great touristy stuff. Now that you have seen a ruin in the middle of an island that's meant to be touristy, bright, and holiday and happy, what's your take on Sentosa now?
I feel we shouldn't discount our history, and I'm glad these places are still there so that people can learn what Singapore went through back in the war. But I also feel we can do without lah. No need, There's some museum.
How do you bring a whole ruin to the museum?
You just bring one wall and then tell everybody this wall was once a piece of World War II.
Put the haunting history link there so people can watch our show.
Put this video there. That's finished. What somehow? Just one piece of the, and then one piece of Scott, because I think he needs to be.
Piece of Scott.
He needs to be in a museum, man.
Despite Fort Serapong remaining in ruins, it is still important to remember places like this that once stood to protect our country from danger. As society transformed, some places of our history remain as they were, never to be forgotten. For Haunting History, I'm Eugene Tay. We'll see you next week. I wonder if Scott just flexes throughout everywhere he moves.
Yeah, he's like, the ghost is over there. He's like, come over here.
Oh, I heard a sound!
Yeah, but what a man, ladies and gentlemen. That is what you call a man.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching Haunting History. If you have liked what you just watched,
Oh, I was about to say I didn't like what I just watched, but you can like, subscribe, share, comment, do what you need to do and share to everybody about this place.
just do it.